Yo, my people, it's your boy Esro's Glotalks, Big Bread, Limitless represented in the building. You know what's going on.
L's up.
L's up, continuous. Let's go. Yeah.
Talk to them,
The
bros.
voice of the streets. Let's go. Yo. Look, I'm the voice of the streets, you other than me. But just in case you forgot, go check my receipts. Real trends foot, baby, you my white hairs creased. I got memories on every road and knew him to say the least. And trench foot, baby, ain't a lingo. I was out in my school clothes, flicky in my insole. And you ain't gotta ask me if I'm involved. Night runners, prison plimsolls, I did both. I'm in denim tears for all the tears that fell down my denims. Ever fell to your knees in the cell for repentance? And if you ask me what for, I'd rather not mention. Just know I put the S in 6 and the B in Beton. If I was there, 3-6 wouldn't be a label. Shizzy died the same way Cain done Abel. I got ghetto angels, I wish I saved you. But just knowing that I couldn't's even more painful. Ever went no comment looking at the Fed in his eyes? Ever reason with God and got no reply? Or heard keys to your cell when freedom walked by? Or pressed your bell in the cell just to know the time? I couldn't tell you all the times I stepped, or all the tears I shed, or all the blood I bled, the prison floors I swept, and all the feds I left. Back and forth court, but the judge adjourned it again. They said the eyes never lie. Take a look into mine, I can't find tears to cry. I've been on trial my whole life. Be the odds 1,000 times and I ain't sleeping through the night. If my life was a film title, let legends never die. I got chemistry with destiny, her voice is my remedy. My boy got shot in the head right next to me. And deep down I know them gunshots were meant for me. But we got it back in blood, eventually remember me. I took the long way home. They want my liver in the pool so I never walk alone. Hopeless journey into hope, I was stuck between both. Outside's freezing cold but there's a fire in my soul. Asked Jenny from the block if I was on it or not. You know my dates I crashed, just your draw on my ops. I can tell you about moves, 100 boxes in a loft. They say I'm too hands-on, I never been hands-off.
Treat a Vogue like a Uber X, boss or Budapest. They think I calm down, but I'm showing less. I met Brian with his wife to check out the jet. I seen 100,000 100 times, no offense. And back then they told me come out, said I can't go. I was putting 32E for my Valdo. I bought a chain it way before I bought a chain. 2020 probably cashed you out just to buy a gain. But the streets on, I'm the missing piece to their play. Zoom calls, Marlboro meetings with the shakes. Vigo Street getting measured, wide lapels and my double-breasted. I heard the figures that they're talking and I'm not interested. Universal sent the invoice but I need it now. $250,000 spinning every week off Olympus Dow. Keys in my living room but it ain't a brick. NFTs in my frame, I made thousands off a pic. After school there were times I didn't wanna go home, but it's changed and the annex got a different postcode. I used to walk in the rain having visions of a rose, making calculated risks, I can never fall more. Bet big on projects and people that you believe in. Never let the cost discourage you from achieving. Had to say that to myself, I learned a lesson from them L's. Before I leave this earth, I better finance the world. They love me up in carriages, they make me name my own drink. Ask Daniela for a signal when you roll in, send 100k a coin, and I thought that it was gone. Cause I thought that it was ERC instead of Polygon. I want my belly, my investors couldn't see me doing drill. Didn't think they'll ever trust a nigga rap and do a deal. Recruitment logistics, finance to fitness. It's been a few years that little bread's been doing business.
You know what's going on? I'm here with Glotalks, Big Bread, Limitless.
That's Limitless,
you know what's going on every single time.
Thanks for having us here right now. We're about to get into the maddest podcast you've ever heard. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to another great episode of Glotalks. Today I'm with two friends who has known each other for over a decade. I'm with Esro's from Newham and Bread from Brixton, who have worked together over a long period of time. Two friends who has fell in love with music. You've just heard their freestyle here, Esro's and Bread. You know what? I'm not even going to talk too much. Let's get straight into this. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good.
Bro, I ain't seen you for like, what?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wait, let me think about this. It was in Belmarsh.
I think that might have been...
Oh, you two was actually in jail together? Oh, that's actually crazy.
Yeah, we was.
I think that might have been, 012.
012? Nah, because 012 was at Portland. HMP Portland. I'm talking, it must be like, where was he? Belmarsh.
I was in Belmarsh.
So Belmarsh, we're talking about like 2014.
14, yeah.
It's like 14, 15-ish.
Yeah.
And I ain't seen you again since.
Since.
How you been?
I've been good. You know, I've been keeping out of trouble, impact to the community.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep a positive mindset, you know.
No, I see you, man. You're looking real dapper today as well. Looking real smart.
Thank you.
Bread.
What you saying, my boy?
Nice to meet you. Welcome to Glo Talks.
Man, thank you, man. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us down, man.
No problem. How you been? How was your journey?
I've been good. We like you said, we looked dapper today. So we actually just came from an event where we actually gave out £20,000, really and truly.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so we're doing all right.
Was that for charity, yeah?
That was it's for the community. I wouldn't even say it's for charity, but it was a charitable act.
Yeah.
So we gave it out to different businesses that actually came up to pitch for that as to why they should receive that £20,000. And so that's what we done today.
You know what? You guys are two interesting characters, but I strongly believe that you both had your own separate journeys. I want to actually get to know both of you individually. Yeah. And then we can get to the bit where you guys actually came together and became 100%. A pair. Shall we start with Esro?
Yeah, talk.
Yeah. How you doing? So
I'm good.
Esro, tell me about yourself. Obviously, I met you in prison in 2014, but what was life for you before that? Like, where you from? What country you from?
Originally, I'm from Newham, born and raised in Plaistow.
Yeah.
So I know everybody in Newham, but of course, like to get into the conversation a bit faster, I think obviously everybody knows me as someone from Betton. I'm from Betton, born and raised in Newham.
Yeah.
And I've been involved in so much.
Yeah. Let's not get to the gang activities. Yeah. Let's start before gang activities. Did you go to school in Newham?
Yeah, I went to school in Newham. I went to Lister Community School in Newham, Portway Primary School.
Okay.
In Newham.
You can't even just say Newham though. You got to say where it was in Newham.
Plaistow.
Plaistow. Yeah. Okay.
Of course, you would know why he's.
I'm gonna be here.
But yeah,
I was in.
Went to Portway Primary School. Went to Lister Community School as my secondary school, and then I went to a college in South Ockenden. And from there, I've just been someone that's been interested in music.
Yeah.
A lot, of course, like on my way to school.
Yeah.
I was always someone that used to listen to music.
Yeah.
To listen to the days of where Chipmunk and Grime was clashing.
Oh, so you was a grime. You was into grime. Yeah.
I grew up on grime and it's like ghetto and bashy, and of course I grew up in Plaistow.
Yeah.
So I knew majority of the people around that area, like ghetto, they were rapping and stuff.
Yeah.
There was different groups that slew them.
Yeah.
That was in Stratford and stuff like that as well. But I was always somebody that was around a lot of people because I had an older brother that used to go to a lot of parties.
Okay.
So he used to go to a lot of parties.
Yeah, so he's the little brother just tagging along.
You know those days when you used to be like, yeah, I'll call my older brother.
Yeah.
I was one of those younger brothers at a stage.
When you was growing up in Newham, what was it like for you in terms of did you experience a lot of hardship, poverty, what, you're Congolese, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like for you, growing up in a Congolese household and living in Newham?
I think that living in Newham, you don't necessarily, looking back, you don't know it's hard.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was hard back then. I was just getting on with life. But of course I did witness some sort of struggles in the house. Of course, your parents, my mum's a single parent. So
yeah.
I was raised by my mum. Obviously my dad lived in a separate household. I used to see him on the weekends, but I wouldn't say it was hard. I think for my own story now, looking back at it, it was necessary.
Okay.
It was definitely necessary for me to see that struggle growing up.
Yeah.
My mum and my dad, they're both people that believe in God.
Yeah.
Took me to church from a young age.
Yeah.
Even in the days where I didn't even understand what the preacher was even saying.
Of course.
But they did take me to church. They did sow that seed of God in me. But I did grow up around that environment as well. Family, brothers. Spent a lot of time with family. It was a family orientated house.
How many siblings do you have in total?
I had about 5 siblings at that time.
Oh, 5 at that time.
Right now it's about 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've got older brothers and older sisters?
I've got one older brother and one older sister.
Okay, so when you was obviously growing up in Newham, you mentioned earlier that you relied on your brother a lot, I'll call my brother kind of thing. Did you use that trump card often?
So that trump card was when you after when you just finished school at the 6-week holiday, I think you would be around. I would have been around about 11.
Yeah.
Anybody leaving secondary school, they would have been around 11 or 13.
Anyone leaving primary school?
Primary school, yeah. Primary school would have been about 13. So I was always somebody that when I get in trouble, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna call my older brother. But I got to a place, of course, in my own journey where I thought, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand up for myself. But I think we'll get to that stage. That's the stage where it's a bit messy. But yeah, I got to that stage where I thought, you know what, I'm gonna stand up for myself, just defend myself and be who I am.
And how old was you when you came to that understanding of yourself?
Well, the understanding for me to defend myself.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be my own person now. I need to stand up more.
I think it was at the age of 15. At the age of 15, I got stabbed.
Yeah.
And I was coming home from football with my little brothers, and I wasn't involved in any beef.
Yeah.
But of course, at the time, you're dressed like the way you like. There was a puffer jacket that everybody wore. Yeah. there was a puffer jacket that I think most people are familiar with. Maybe yourself as well. That puffer jacket, like
for the night thing.
Yeah, the night puffer jacket and you know the hat that you
the hat that rolls up. Yeah.
I wasn't involved, but like of course because it was cold, like, I was just trying to fit in with the trend.
Yeah.
So obviously I wore that, and I think like I was like not involved in a beef. It was a mistaken identity. I found out later, but that changed me. Just seeing the fact that I had to, because my little brothers, they were there as well, so I had to tell them to run.
Yeah, okay.
And I stayed behind.
Okay.
So I just saw a group of people coming towards me.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing my little brothers there, so they run.
And this was in Newham?
This was in Newham. This was in Stratford.
Yeah.
And that changed me. That point changed my whole mindset. Because I felt like in order for me to be protected, I had to protect myself. Like there was no one to protect me.
100, yeah.
I had to protect myself. So that's what changed for me.
Okay, we're gonna, because you went straight for the jugular, you know what I'm saying? Let's continue on with Bread. Tell me a bit about yourself, where you grow up, what country you from?
So, of course, my name is Bread. I grew up in Brixton.
Yeah.
I was actually raised in Brixton. I spent half my life in Brixton, half my life in Croydon.
Okay.
And so I've kind of seen a lot in my life, but unlike Esro's, I wasn't actually on the street.
I was on the street.
He was on the street, my boy. He was on the street. No, I was actually my aspiration in life was to become a professional footballer, which I did.
Same here, my aspiration was to become
everyone's aspiration is to become a footballer. But I actually became a professional footballer. So I've played for Crystal Palace.
Okay.
Fulham.
Yeah.
My last club was Notts County, where I got my professional contract at. But I feel like growing up in and around it, you got cousins that's on the road, you got friends, like you're growing up seeing everything. But I think what saved me from going full deep dive into it was the fact that I was playing football. But of course, when football doesn't work out, there's many other things that you fall into, especially coming from the demographics that we're coming from. Was
you playing football from a kid, or
I was playing? I was playing football from about 6 or 7.
And did you grow up with your mum and dad?
Yeah, I grew up with my mum and my dad.
Okay.
I'm from Jamaica. Well, my parents are from Jamaica.
Yeah.
My mum was born here.
Yeah.
But her parents are Jamaican. My dad was born in Jamaica, but he came over here. Probably, I think he was like 20 something when he came over.
So as a kid, you were just always playing football. Football was something that you really wanted to do.
I was just always outside playing football, just in the cages.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh, yeah.
I'm one of them kids.
Them cages, you know?
As in you're coming back to the block after school, you're seeing me in the cage.
Yeah.
I'm always in the cage playing football. I'm always that guy that's kicking the ball in the air, trying to bring it down. Like that's who I was.
Yeah.
Like,
that's who I was as well.
And the thing is that football thing kept me cool with everybody.
Yeah.
So like, if you know Brixton's very like...
Which part of Brixton?
5 Ways. You know what 5 Ways is?
No, I know like Loughborough.
It's Loughborough, Angel Town is there.
Okay, yeah.
I grew up there, but I'm cool with people from Brixton Hill. I'm cool with people everywhere because I played football. Yeah. But I was just known as the guy that was the football kid from the area. And then when I got to about 13, 14, that's when I moved to Croydon. Yeah. Thornton Heath, those areas. And then that's where I was kind of like going to school. And the same thing happened. I was just always known for playing football. But of course, I've got family members that are heavily involved.
How old was you when you got your Nottingham contract to play professionally? I was
16 and I moved out of my area at 16. I lived in Nottingham for 4 years.
Okay, so you stayed there after?
Lived in there, I'd done a 2-year, they call it a scholarship. So I got a scholarship to play for them, and then I got another professional contract to play for them as well.
And then you came back down to London at 20?
Came back down to London at 20. And that's when my whole life basically changed. That's where you see like the development of the person that you see now, because my whole identity was football.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like it's really, really touched on, like, in the mainstream media, is that like when you're playing football from a young age, and that's all you know.
That's all you do.
That's all you know. That's all you do. I was simply just known as, my identity as a footballer. This is the only way that I'm gonna go and make it out and go. And my mindset back then was, this is how I'm gonna provide for all the whole ends. This is how this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But when that came crashing down, I got released.
Yeah.
When that came crashing down, I did not know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
And I always felt like I was destined to be something. I always felt like I was destined to have a great story, but I just didn't know how to actually manifest it.
Yeah. Okay. So after you got stabbed in Stratford, in the streets of Newham, and you now felt like you had to protect yourself, essentially, you couldn't rely on your older brother anymore because he wasn't there in that moment when you did get stabbed. What route did your life take in order for you to actually protect yourself?
Like, naturally, what I started doing, of course, I was still going football, but I would just go football protected.
Yeah.
So I'll go with the mindset of that.
Yeah.
If something happens today, that is going down today. Like, I'm not gonna bleed out again and stuff like that. And seeing the mark on your body time after again is just
it's traumatizing. You got like when you look at
it paints the picture of
what actually happened
all the time.
Every time you look at it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that must have really started making you have like resent or anger. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
You're right. It made me angry to a place where I didn't know how to express myself.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could do is remember what I used to do in school, and that was poetry. So I used to write.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I used to, in school, in Portway Primary School, I used to do something called poetry lessons and stuff like that. And it made me just feel like, you know what, let me go back to that and just start writing. So I started writing how I felt, then I got an instrumental, and I just started writing, and it was therapeutic to me because, of course, I used to listen to music, but I didn't know if I wanted to be a musician or not.
Yeah, of course.
I was in the mix of, or split between two decisions, either being a footballer or a musician. But I think I was going towards the musician, right? Because you know when you play football, you know there's some boys you got that are just good. You know, you know what?
Cold.
Forget this thing.
You know you're not on that.
Just don't even try this thing. So the closest thing for me to do was music, and I feel like what happened to me, or the anger that built up inside me from what happened. Looking back now, it was good because it made me want to do something or express myself differently. Yeah. But yeah.
How old was you when you actually got stabbed?
15.
So you was 15. Was you in college at the time?
Yes, I was in college, yeah.
You was in college, and then what was you studying?
I was studying BTEC Sports.
Oh, BTEC Sports.
You know,
everyone studied. I think I studied that.
I studied it.
I think I studied that in Joe as well. And some open, you know, they do that open university.
Yeah, no, I didn't even go that deep into Joe, but
Oh, that's a joke. Yeah, so obviously you're now in the streets of Newham. You're out and about. You're going everywhere protected. Obviously, you're doing that to protect yourself. Did you feel like it gave you an extra bit of confidence?
What gave me confidence is the first time that I actually had to defend myself.
Yeah.
That's what gave me the confidence, and it made me feel like, you know what, like if this is what I have to do to survive, then it's do or die. And I just, it gave me the mindset of like, before I get violated, it would have to be you. And it can look like a bad mindset now, but I think it's a good mindset to have.
Yeah. When did you actually think, you know what, I'm going to take music seriously?
I've never thought that I'm going to take music seriously. I used to make music just for the sake of it. Yeah. I was on songs with my friends, Trizzy Traps, from Beckton. I would jump on features, but I never took it serious. Yeah. I never took it serious. I was always telling my friend, you take music serious. I was always the person that like told my friend, you take music serious while I do XYZ in the background. Do you know what I mean? So like, our whole team would play a position. So we had musicians.
Yeah.
We'll have people that do XYZ. It was just, it was a family. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Family,
When you was in Brixton, Bread, and you've come back from Nottingham after your football, after you've been released from football, and you've come back to London, did you move back into Brixton?
No, so by that time, remember, I spent my early years in Brixton, but I'd moved to Croydon by that time.
Okay.
13, 14.
Yeah.
But I actually came back, and when I came back, it was a mad time because my best friend got stabbed and killed. His name's Fico Dugan.
Yeah.
And that's even kind of like how the story goes about me even entering Spag Nation. Because when my best friend died, that kind of sent and bearing in mind, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
I can't play football. I've tore my Achilles. I actually can't play.
That's why they released you.
A bit of both. I'm not even looking back at it. I could have done more because I still went into the money that they was paying.
That's the famous story.
The money they was paying. I've always from young, because of probably the way I've grown up, and I've always just wanted money. So I was very distracted.
Yeah.
Even though I could say I was playing football, I was doing other stuff as well. So it's like I was very distracted at that point, whether it's trying to make money in a certain way or just girls or whatever it was. I wasn't as focused as what I needed to be, but I did do my Achilles at the time.
Yeah.
But when I came back to London, my friend had just died.
Yeah.
And that sent the whole area into like a mad pandemonium about a retaliation. And the maddest thing is the person that even killed my friend, we knew him. It was all part of a friendship group. So it was like, you're lost. You don't really, I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. And I think I was going through mad depression at those ages.
I can imagine.
His older brother saw what was going on and used to invite like all of my friends, like my whole area, probably sometimes about 30, 40 people in his house, in his mum's house, and just sit us down and start talking to us. Yeah. But not knowing now that that's basically like the number 2 of Spag Nation. Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That I didn't know that that's what I was walking into. I was just an angry kid, pissed that I couldn't play football, pissed that my best friend's just died. Someone that I've grown up with, like we've done a lot of stuff together. Yeah. And I was just looking but still having the desire to, or the feeling of me knowing that there's something that I need to fulfill in this life. 100. And there's this person that brought us in. He would speak to us, give us positive words and kind of shape our mindset. Yeah. And that's kind of how I ended up in Spag Nation. But I just didn't know. But it was actually through my best friend dying. Of course. The tragic situation that turned it around. So that's that start. I'll give you that.
We'll get into Spag Nation in a bit. Esro, I know that you're also are or been a part of Spag Nation.
I am Spag Nation.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's probably where you guys met. Yeah. So you guys met at Spag Nation. Yeah. It's interesting because you've obviously been stabbed and gone through what you went through. Is that your road to Spag Nation at the time?
Funny enough, like I've been to prison 4 times. Okay. So from the last question you asked me, you said that what did I do up until 18? And I think I said what I've been doing. But after that, I went to prison about 3-4 times after that. And in prison, I said to myself, I'm never going back. Like, like it was Belmont where I said, I am not going back to prison again.
How long did you actually do in Belmont?
How long did I do in Belmont? I think I've done about 8 months. Okay. In Belmont, but I was used to Thameside. So like my first prison I went to was Thameside. Yeah. I went to Thameside. Went to Feltham. Yeah. Feltham was a bit like it was a bit long. It was a bit different to Thameside, but you know when you go to Belmarsh,
Thameside got
free
that
man
Astro picture.
Thameside's an illusion.
Yeah, Thameside is not. It's not real. Like it's just it's you're not in prison.
To be fair, there's that new jail now called 5 Worlds or something like that.
See what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know about this new jail, but I can tell you for free from what I've experienced in Thameside. Yeah, that place is not prison. According to me going to Belmarsh, when I went to Belmarsh, I knew that you have to be a man in life. As in, like, you're banged up with 3 people. And I think I was with your co-defendant as well, like Capone, like he was my cellmate as well. But I knew that, you know what, like this place is jail for real.
Yeah. Obviously, I met you in Belmarsh as well. And I could definitely agree with you. Belmarsh is one of those prisons where it makes you realise reality. Do you know what I'm saying? Because like you don't even go outside at all. The whole prison is built inside. Do you know what I mean?
So even the outside is inside.
So the only time you go outside is exercise. Right? And you get an hour outside. But to go from education to healthcare, to the gym, to the visit, to anywhere else, it's all inside. So you literally just rely on that 1 hour a day of like fresh air and sun. And if you don't get your exercise, you're not getting fresh, like it's peak. Because other jobs, like you can say, I'm going to education and get fresh air because you actually have to walk outside to go to the other building. Whereas Belmarsh is built inside. There's nothing outside for you. Forget about it. What year was you released, Esros?
I think I was released 2016. I know the date. It was a day before Christmas. The 24th of December 2000. I think it was 16.
Okay.
Yeah, it must have been 16, yeah. But I made a decision that I'm never going back to prison again. Of course, in prison, I was reading books like Law of Attraction, The Secret, trying to get some sort of...
powers.
Yeah, like, like
everyone does it.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what, like, I need to change something around, do you know what I mean? But when I came out of jail, I didn't really know the steps or the practical steps to change. One of my friends, my older friends, he took me to a seminar, Robert Kiyosaki seminar, which I kind of learned, but to keep connected with like a mentor, like, it was hard. And I think that's what I was looking for. When I was on the street, of course, I had like an older that I was following. Do you know what I mean? I won't mention his name on here, like he knows anyway, but like I learned everything that I knew from the street.
From him, From him. And like he is a veteran at what he does. I'd say that. Like I learned a lot. And I think that like it made me want to change quick. Because I learned so much, I was thinking, okay, so this is the height of this. What else is next? I always knew that somebody will take you to another, or somebody will introduce you to another chapter of your life, whether that's positive or negative. So I was looking for that, reading all those books. And then when I came out of prison, I was actually living at my friend's house, the CK, living at his house. His mum's a pastor and his dad's a pastor as well. They run their own church as well. But you know, like those days you're going to like the Congolese church for like music. Obviously, I don't understand Lingala, so I'm going there for the music. You don't understand Lingala?
No, I don't understand Lingala. At all? Yeah, but all my Congolese friends doing it. Do you know what I mean? But I was going there for the music, do you know what I mean? Obviously, just go there, get my little blessing and just cut out. Do you know what I mean? Like, church wasn't really meant to be a thing where you spend a lot of time there. It's meant to be like, you do your little cross, say like that,
and then you
put
go
your little
home.
offering, just cut out, do you know what I mean? But he brought me to service at the same for the first time, and I was actually homeless at that time because I came out of jail. I was meant to sort out my accommodation, and I didn't have it, so I was living at his house. Then I followed him to church one day, and obviously, like them times, like I've got so much beef in Newham. I'm thinking, if I go to church, I'm not going to church without my
church was in Newham.
No, I think the church was in South.
Okay,
but I'm thinking for me to travel from East to South, I don't know what kind of implications that could have. And of course, in jail, you know, like there's bare like people that like. You start beefing people from South, even though you're from East. Someone's backing you, like, do you know what I mean? I've had bare altercations. I was even in Belmarsh one time, and some next guy was like, yo, like, I'm like, yeah, like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, hey, you, but like, just tell me who you are.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
Joe man them love the bandwagon thing.
He's like, I'm thinking, like, just tell me who you are.
Like, I don't even know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just tell me who you are. Like, just it's cool. Just show me. I don't really know you, but just tell me who you are. Do you know what I mean? So like I've been through that whole cycle, but then like he introduced me, took me to church. I've always something like church and stuff. Took me to church, and I will say that I never look back. Like that day, I never looked back.
Yeah,
it changed me for real. And I'll actually highlight the stories that one day, I think it was Tuesday. You know, like there was church on Sunday, but there's services on a Monday, Tuesday. It's not normal for like people of our caliber, like real guys, to be going to service on a Monday or Tuesday. But I've gone.
That's like my mum. I'll be like,
my friend, he's weird like that. If he says something like, "Don't go out today," like I'll be like, "Why?" Like I was always one of those guys that like follow my intuition. Do you know what I mean? I'll be like, "Why are you?" So imagine we was meant to go hit a move, and he decided to go to church. He said, "I'm going to church." But I'm like, bro, let's get the dough. I'm like, bro, let's get this piece.
Yeah.
But he said, no, I'm going to church. But I'm like, because I'm living with him, I'm like, you know what, I got to go to church with him.
Yeah.
I'm on church with him, and my friends ended up getting 7 years. They've only just come out recently on the move.
Yeah.
So I saw that as a sign. I said, you know what? I need to take this serious.
I have to go back to church.
But of course, I was still in and out of the streets. You know what I mean? I was in and out. And every time I kept on going back, like, it's like when I went to the church, every time I kept on going back to the streets, like, there was signs for me to, like, wrap this thing up quick. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll go back to the ends, like, there's a shootout, there's this, there's that. And it's like, I'm trying to change. And if anybody that's watching this podcast, they will know, like, Scums from Betton, Newham. Like, I'm always on the move. Like, feds are chasing me. Like, I'm not even meant to be in Newham. And feds are chasing me. So, like, I've been running. And anyone knows that, like, when it comes to, like, the feds, I'm always ducking. I wasn't allowed in Newham. I was even on an injunction. So, like, I just had enough of not being allowed in my own area. I wanted to know how to make money. Like there was so much going on in my life, as in like I was homeless. I wanted to know how to make money. I think I just broke up with my ex-girlfriend. There was just a lot going on.
Everything going down.
There was a lot going on. You know, when you come out of prison as well, like it's not like you can go to prison once, but to go prison 2, 3, 4. You can't keep like
it takes away from me as well.
You can't keep expecting people to have you and
100
be there for you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that really changed me. So like from prison to Spag Nation, like I remember the first day I came in there, I dropped my knife. I forgot my knife.
At home?
No, like in the service.
You dropped it in the service?
So I imagine like I had my knife on me like, in the service. But I've forgotten my knife. Like I'm listening, because what the pastor was saying resonated with me so much to a place where like I forgot that I was. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really think that like I had to walk around with this, but that looked like me forgetting, but I just feel like that was divine. It was a divine moment. Like since that day, I didn't need to pick up a knife again. And it's like all the paranoia that I had of like thinking or imagining a situation that hasn't happened, or thinking I'm gonna butt this up there, or this person's looking at me, or this person's gonna call this person. I started to become a lot more free. So there was a lot more signs. Yeah,
that's good that you realise your signs in that moment in church as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I grew up in a church household. Do you know what I'm saying? My mum, like you said, my mum used to go to church on a Sunday, on a Wednesday, on a Saturday, on Christmas it's 24 hours.
I wasn't really into that. Like I wasn't really in that deep. But like I'll like, do you know what I mean? I'll go and just, you know what I mean? I'll dabble in and out. You know what I mean? I don't really know about the Pentecostal church.
The maddest thing is I actually never had a religious upbringing. I never had like, obviously I used to, every now and again I might go to church, but I was never really forced to go to church like that.
Was your parents religious?
They're Christian, but they're not religious. They themselves also, my mum would go to church and she would go like around to different churches and but I weren't really, like my experience of church was so boring. And I just like, I didn't understand it, but I always felt like, you know, like people say they got a personal relationship with God. I always felt like God was talking to me like, no, don't do this, did it. I always felt like I had I was mad sensitive to my conscience or to what I thought at the time was God's voice. So that's like, I was never a church goer. So I'd never see myself in a million years doing church.
So for you, Bread, now that we're on the subject of church, when you entered Spag Nation, what was like your first initial experience of Spag Nation?
You know where it was, bro, coming from where I'm coming from, and where we're all coming from, a low socio-economic background, remember back them times, there was no... I joined Spag Nation in 2015. There's no coverage on Spag Nation. There's no nice clothes. There's no cars. There's nothing like that. In fact, we was in the fourth floor of a building next to Ministry of Sound in Elephant and Castle.
Okay.
And there used to be like mice and that running around. The lift would get jammed up and that. And when I came there, I just felt love. Sincerely, like, you know, like genuinely someone's even asking you, like, you're sitting down, I was sitting down at the back, like with my hood up, probably screwing someone. But people are actually asking you, like, how are you? And that, like, what's it like? How are you? You okay? Like,
are you okay? Checking in.
Yeah, like, what's your plans for the future? Like, people.
And someone probably asked you that forever.
Never, bro. Yeah. Never, like, never at all. Someone's asking you, like, well, what's your plans for, like, the future? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, like, these people care. Like, man's even getting a little munch at the end of the service. I'm like, all right, like, this is okay. So I felt love first. And I felt like someone genuinely had a care, or a community had a care for the prosperity of myself. Yeah. And then that's what I first initially felt. Yeah. First initially felt, and of course, like, little things that I actually wanted to do, people were supportive of that. I remember, like I said, I want to do a football tournament in the ends. They helped me, like, people rustled up money to help me give it away. I gave away like 1K at a football tournament when I was there. When I first came, and I just thought, you know what, I want to be a part of a family. I wanted to be a part of a community, and that's when I just started going, and I haven't looked back, kind of thing. And of course, there's been many things over the years that have reaffirmed why I'm there, but it just allowed me to see a different perspective on who I was as a person, and it redefined my thinking into thinking that I could, for me to be successful from my demographic, I had to make music, or I had to go and sell drugs, or I had to be a footballer. It redefined that, and it said, you know what? No, you're a leader. You were born a leader. And I was saying this to, I was even saying this to S the other day. Like, I have a beard. You have a beard. Yeah. You're struggling, but you got something. Yeah. I've got a beard. Yeah. Yeah. And I was reading something on DNA. DNA is, I think, then the guys in the comments, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're born with a certain set amount of DNA, and it doesn't change. Yeah. From when you're a baby in the womb to now. And that DNA carries information, and it carries instructions on what you'll look like, or when you'll develop this. It carries a certain instructions about you. And I have a beard now, but I've always had this DNA for me to have a beard from when I was a baby. But when I was a baby, I never had the beard. I never had the beard when I was a baby, but when I reached puberty, the DNA got triggered, or the instruction for me to for my body to start creating a beard happened. So it's like, I've always had the gene of greatness. But I just wasn't in enough. I've always had that gene, but what happened was, when I came into life, many things started to bombard that thing. Social constructs of me, you saying no, you can only be successful as a footballer. You can only be successful if you trap. You can only be successful if you do F. Those social constructs came at me because I had lived in I had grown up in Brixton, because I had grown up in Croydon. But it's like, that's not actually the way my life was meant to go. It's just because I met something, I met a society, I met a social construct that was forcing that thing on me. And I felt like I had to be like, what me coming or joining Spag Nation, what that done was, it helped me strip back all the things, my perspective or my way of looking at life. And it gave me a different lens of me actually looking into that gene that I knew I always had, as I was saying before, that gene of being great and causing an impact in my community and the world. For your parents, when you've come back from Nottingham, from football, and you've moved to Croydon, now you've started attending the church. What was their response to it? How did they respond to that? Initially, I've always been the different person in my family. Do you have siblings? I got Oh my days. I got like 5 siblings.
Okay.
I'm the second oldest. My dad done his thing as well, so there might be
Yeah.
But nah, I'm like this. I'm the second oldest, second or third oldest. Yeah, third.
Yeah.
Third oldest. I got 3 brothers, 1 sister, and I got an older brother as well. And I got an older brother, but I don't even know
Okay.
who he is at the moment.
That's Jamaica for you.
But yeah, like, shout out him though. He's cool. Last time I saw him, I think I was like 13 or something. But but what was he saying? What was I saying?
Well, my question was, how did your parents react to you?
Yeah, no, I've always been the different guy in my family. I've always said, I'm going this way, guys.
Yeah.
Bet on me.
Yeah.
If you don't bet on me, it's cool, but I'll be fine. So like even up until this day, my mum might not hear from me for a very long time, but she'll message me, she'll say, I know you're good. So it's like, they kind of let me run with what I was doing because they knew that if he's doing it,
you're going to do it.
He's going to do it and no one can talk him out of it. And he's wise, he knows what he's doing kind of thing. Of course, when they hear 1 or 2 things, they're a bit skeptical, they might message me. But I'll just say, look, you know me. You know I'm not stupid enough to not be involved in something that I believe is right. So they leave me alone.
Okay.
I'm really like
That's actually allowed you to follow that path even better because your parents ain't against or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? So
now, they might be against it.
Oh yeah.
But they know that I've chosen a path, and they know that regardless, his bread's gonna do this. Alex is gonna do this. And he's going for it. They still love me, I still love them. But it's like they might be, whatever opinion they have of it, that's their opinion. But they know they can't infuse their opinion on me.
I'm gonna go back to you, Rose. So that moment when you was in church and you've heard the service and you've just remembered that you left your knife and the realization of like you not needing to roll with your knife anymore, or you not needing to be paranoid or look around or this and that. That must have been like a weight lifted off your shoulders. You must have felt exhilarated.
And that was a process as well. Like even for me to not roll with it, it was a process. I kept on feeling like I do have to, because I've been doing, like, because I was on the street for so long, the pattern of the street was just kept on like coming to my mind. But of course I spent a long time in Spac-Nation. So for example, I intensified my days that I went. So normally, you go to church on a Sunday. I intensified the days I went. I went on a Monday, Tuesday, then a Thursday. So me going like to those days, it was changing my mindset.
Just keeping yourself more busy.
Like it was, and I was already on like a positivity kind of mindset as well. Like the energy you put out, like the law of attraction is, it's all about the energy you put out. What you put out is what you get back. And stuff like that. It's like sowing and reaping. So I believed in that very, very. I believed in that mindset. Thought process, that mindset, and I just feel like I just wanted to change bad, and I just started to intensify like my level of wanting to know more. And one of the things that like kept me intrigued is that we see or hear of millionaires, like mentors, like in the world. They're around, but they're not people that I can contact. I was looking for somebody that could take me by the hand, like Brad said, ask me, what do you do? What do you want to do? How can we do this? And that's what they done. The hope which I saw, I think it was less than about 2-3 weeks of me coming there. They put together my friend's company called King's Class. It was a chauffeuring company. When I saw that there's a group of black people or people in general actually that wanted to invest in my friend, I said, you know what? I can change. I'm going to, because really and truly, we're all hustling.
We don't see that a lot.
We're all hustling for finances to create businesses or to get ourselves out the hood. I saw a way to even get out of the hood or get away. And it actually helped me. And I got out of the hood, but not only did I get out of the hood, I developed a whole mindset. Because some people move out of the hood, but the mindset of the hood is still in them.
Stays the same,
What happened to me is that mindset is changing every single day. Every day I'm getting better. Of course, there may be some elements, things I can get better, but over time it's getting refined. I'm not as mad as I used to be. I'm not a victim of my circumstance. You know, before you could be a victim of the way somebody speaks to you.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? But now it's like, I'll look you that, I'll be like, okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
Be yourself.
Yeah, but it lifted a great weight off my shoulders. It showed me how to live, how a man is meant to be, how a man is meant to look, how a man is meant to carry himself. And for example, I met him coming into there, and like the way he was dressed, I said, because I had a Rolex, he had a Rolex, but the way he was dressed, it spoke of like opulence and wealth. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I need to do this. Like, even if I am street, I need to know how to be. I need to know how to have a balance. I need to know how to be intergalactic. I need to know how to put on a suit and go to Mayfair. I was somebody that didn't know where Mayfair was. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't come out of Beckton or Newham. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, like, it lifted a lot off my shoulders, and the exposure that I got from even just going to meetings with my mentor at the time, like, it was mad. Like, for somebody like myself, like even for like my friend as well, I think, I won't even say mentor, I'll say what PT done. Yeah. He exposed my mind to possibilities. Yeah. And like, just listening to him, you know, just listening to someone and you can, and then there's like listening and someone showing practical examples of what they're saying. Because I was used to listening to motivational speakers. Yeah. And I think that I would have probably became one, just like, but now there's practical steps and lives being changed that I'm saying, you know what, because I saw him do this, I want to do the same thing.
I think what no one tells you is that life is going to beat you the hell up every day. No one prepares you for that.
No one trains you. No one tells you.
You. You're untrained. No one tells you that life is actually going to. It's a battlefield. It's a war. Yeah. But the war is actually the war within yourself. Yeah. You wake up in the morning. In fact, you could have dreams or aspirations of you wanting to be something, but everything's telling you that it's impossible. Your bank account is telling you it's impossible. Your friends are telling you it's impossible. Yeah. Your parents are telling you it's impossible. Your environment, even the news is telling you that it's impossible. So it's like what we saw was just somebody who was doing the impossible. Yeah. Up close. Yeah. I know we see it in movies. I know we hear about it in America. Yeah. But we just saw someone doing the impossible. If something needed to be done, and there was necessarily no resources in order to do it, whether that be money or whether it be people, whether it be whatever, I just saw someone so focused enough to actually get stuff done. And that's what we needed. We needed, and what I believe that Spag Nation is giving me, it's giving me training. Yeah. It's giving me training of how to become a world-class leader. Yeah. I've brought the people in the room that we've brought into the room today. Yeah. The cameras probably won't see. I've got a young boy with me. He's called Moses. He's 16. He wanted to get into photography. I said, come, we're going to put you on payroll. You're going to start shooting for us. Everywhere we go, take some pictures for us, But he would have never have had that opportunity had it not been for somebody taking us by the hand and making us into the people that we are today. I wouldn't even have been thinking about another person. I'd be too self-absorbed with correcting my own life. Yeah. Do you understand? But he's allowed us the same way that somebody else has reached out their hand and trained us in a certain way to face certain life issues and how to face life issues is the same way in which we're helping other young people, and we've impacted thousands of young people. Yeah. Thousands. Forget the money. Yeah. Painstaking hours of just sitting down and even talking to someone and taking them through, you know, for some people there's like, because it's almost like this. All right, cool. I got a bag here, and this is not to like do anything. If you put this like this next to your eye, you're gonna see black.
Yeah.
And you're gonna think everything is doom and gloom, it's black.
Yeah.
But if you pull it out like this, you realize, oh, it's a bag.
Yeah.
It's that can open, I can use it for stuff. You just need to put perspective to certain people's life, and that's what happened to us.
Yeah.
We just got different perspective, and we started seeing that problems or issues that we thought were issues in our life weren't actually issues. They were there.
Solutions.
They were there to actually, for us to grow, for us to find solutions for them. Remember, one person's problem is another person's riches.
Yeah.
We saw that with the financial crash.
Yeah.
Some people's businesses were coming down.
Yeah.
When Bitcoin was made, we saw that with COVID. Some people thought it was the worst time ever.
Yeah.
But businesses started popping up. People became more entrepreneurial. So it's just, everything was just a lens change for us.
Yeah.
Sincerely, you mentioned something about training, and I think that's what Spag Nation is. And some people need to know what it is. It's world-class training.
Yeah.
And I'm somebody, I'm a Spag National. As in, like, I'm somebody that, like, I put value on whatever I believe is changing me. I'm like, if we was playing a game of poker, I'm somebody that plays like, if I play, I'm at my best where I put all my chips in. If I'm not putting my all in something, I'm not playing at my best. I've seen year after year more reasons for me to do this. It's the training. Money can leave you, but you see your training, you will need it for one day. It will kick in. And that's what we're being prepared for, like world crisis. Where are leaders made? In crisis. The pandemonium today that we see in the world today, is not, they're problems to some people, but there's solutions to other people. Where people's millions will come from. We don't get trained to, we've never been trained to, like even growing up, I was not trained to know about millions of pounds. It's just not our training.
It's not.
Most of us got trained. The training that we grew up with wasn't sufficient enough, so we went to the streets. I grew up in a broken home. That was meant to be a family. I found family in the street. Police and other people and corporations may label it as like a gang. All I found was brotherhood, family, people that I could take risk with. I'm looking back at like all the ride-outs I've ever done, and it may seem like it's bad, but I'm grateful for them because it let me know that I'm a risk taker.
It's built
despite the consequence, I'm still going to do. And that's a training that's even helped me. Now, how do I upskill that and make that like refined? I needed a Spag Nation family. And guess what? Someone's watching in the comments now. Even if it was a mosque or any other place of worship, show me somewhere that works. I'll be there. I want to change. I don't care about religion. I'm serious about change. And that's what like I've encountered in the family. I've encountered it in Spag Nation, and it's something that I won't give up. The training that you have here, you need it. Like it's something that like you go to the gym. Without you training, you ain't getting like this look. There's none of this. Do you know what I mean? Like there's nothing like that. And it's like, I know that I'm training because one day I will need to put this training into practice. Like when you're training, you don't know that like, okay, when you was in prison, you didn't know that like it was for a Glotalks or Glo Fitness. You just don't know what you're training for. But you're training for something. I'm sure that you've had many conversations in your prison cell like this. You was training for something.
100.
But that was just like the shadow of the real thing. This may be the shadow of something else. Before it might have been prison. Now it might be a podcast, but you don't know what the training is taking you to. And oftentimes in our community, we believe in that, okay, God's gonna come and do something sporadic. That's what I thought, or my parents told me. God is coming to do something sporadic, but God cannot give you anything that you haven't trained for. It'll be unjust of him to give you something that you haven't trained for, you don't have the skill set for. So it's like you wanted a big body or a great body, but you don't want to train. How will you get? How will you pray for the body? Would it come? No, you have to train. And you said it, Bread. Life is a battlefield, and I wish my parents told me that from a young age, that I'm going to have to wake up one day and fight to be financial, like
free.
Yeah. I think people encounter that, but I think even at the height of our demographic success, people are just fighting to be okay.
Be all right.
Be all right.
It's calm.
Pay the bill.
And that's fine.
That's it.
But it's not me.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It's actually not me. Sincerely, it's not me. I don't want to be okay. I don't want to be average. I want to do something greater. I feel like there's something in me that's pushing me towards that.
I can agree with you.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
So, definitely.
So it's people at the height of UK. Let's just talk about UK rap.
Yeah.
At the height of UK, black success. Let's just use black. Black success. People are fighting to be okay. Yeah. And they think it's the mad thing, and it's not. Yeah. So someone's standard is so low. The height is so low. Yeah. Yeah. The height, you're
like £1 million is a lot of money because of where we're coming from.
Our bar of success is so low, and I'm just like, no, somebody has to want to go and change this.
We have to achieve.
You're always gonna fight. There's always gonna be controversy with somebody that goes against societal norms. Yeah, and I'm not saying. I'm gonna answer the comments right now because they're probably commenting. Yeah, I'm not saying that bad things have not happened in Spag Nation. If you put 1,000 black people in a room and tell them to be okay with each other,
especially where I'm from,
gonna happen.
Someone's got one pattern.
Something is definitely gonna happen, especially in our early ages. Yeah, you put a group of 21, 22-year-olds in a flipping room, 1,000 people, 2,000 people in a room. You think they're not gonna mess up sometimes? I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not. This guy is not perfect.
I'm not perfect. So see that. Just sorry to cut you off.
Go on, bro.
I know what it means to be very, very bad, and I know what it means to attempt to be good. Yeah. And let me tell you something. There's no human being that could be perfect. 100. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible.
It's not realistic.
And I've come to the terms that we're never going to be perfect. So what we get scrutinized for is because we're a church, they think that we have to be perfect. No, the reason why I'm at church is because I'm not. I need this. Yeah. Do you understand? I need this. What? Not because I've just heard a pastor talk. Yeah. I've seen the practical examples. I've seen a level of wealth that's changed my perspective. Yeah. And if I can see what the word can produce, because I know there's a lot of churches around and everybody has their own idea of what churches, and some churches do this to this person. It happens in our community. Mad things happen in our community every day. But it's because the caliber of people that go to a Spag Nation, we will get scrutinized. What you see online, some of it is my own stupidity and childishness. But why am I there? Why do I listen to a PT? I need it's making me better. Behind closed doors, I'm getting corrected. I'm getting better. But I'm being trained into being a world-class leader. Yes. There's pastors or popes that make crazy mistakes at the age or the latter part of their life. Yes. They molest children. These things don't get spoken about. But the reason why it gets spoken about on a Spag Nation for Spag Nation is because our culture only know how to pull people down. If you look on Shadeborough or any site, you will see our kind there. We don't know how to build. Instagram, people have come together, communities have come together and built something, and we are consumers on that platform. The reason why I'm a core Spag National, even from coming from, remember, I'm not someone that can be twanged, by the way. Yeah. I've been to, they were let's just put it. I've been to, I know what it means to twang. Yeah. I've been to prison. I've been shot at. I've been stabbed. I've done things. Yeah. There's no twang in me. Yeah. For me, this is something that our community needs. Every man is looking to take a risk to prosper his life. But he just doesn't know the right ones to take or the right ground for him to sow into. I was looking for a mentor, but these mentors are online. I don't know a Jay-Z.
I would love to be mentioned or mentored by any Jay-Z or any upcoming musician or any musician that's out there. I would love to be, but there's nobody that could take me by the hand and want to build my life as Stephen.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? There's nobody that wants to build my life. So that's why like I'm a part of it. Look, someone can't twang me. If you're talking about like bad boys of the street, I've done way more than most men in Newham, my age, and even older. Yeah. It's not a twang. Yeah. Most people, if not everybody, needs Spag Nation. Yeah. And it's not, you don't have to come into the doors, but it's like, people have an idea, okay, they hate this person, but when they meet me, it's a whole different situation.
Yeah, different person, yeah.
I've got prime examples, and of course, we can get into it in the conversation. I think we should just flow as well. Yeah. But I've got people that I've clothed, housed, fed. They've spoken bad about me. There's videos online, and I've shaken their hand. Yeah. I'll be sincere. I'm on this thing. Yeah. That's just the truth. Yeah. If me not changing, I would never have shaken those people's hands. But I've understood that, no, I'm not a victim of my situation anymore. Like, that's what people don't see. People don't see that, like, my reaction to people is way different. Have I changed? Of course I have.
Just to pose a question to both of you, you can give your own answers. What would you say to, like, the viewers or, like, the outside people look at Spag Nation online, they look at Pastor Toby, they see the designer drip, they see the high fashion, the voices, the things that is not reachable for them, and they say that is a cult and that is an environment to brainwash people and to use people, essentially exploit them to an extent. What would you say to that, Esro?
For me, what I'll say about that is that controversy is the entry point for conversation. Yeah. So whenever you see there's controversy around, it's just an entrance point for conversation. Yeah. People judge what they don't understand. What I would say to people is that before you judge, have a conversation. I am one of those people that have gone there. I'm open for conversation. I will not sit down and tell you that, no, I was right here, blah, blah. No. Let's have a conversation. We're trying to deal with the issue of our community. Yeah. We need your help. We need your insight too. Yeah. Have a conversation. Let's make this better. Yeah. Our community is full of amazing minds. Yeah. And the reason why we're passionate about change is because we know that there's a lot of potential. Like, there's so much potential out there, but it's just lying dormant in people that don't know it's there. Yeah. Some of the greatest leaders that can be from the street. Yeah. We believe that the best can come from the worst. Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen a man that's gone to prison for 3.5 years come out and raise multi-millions of pounds. So what I would say to those people is, have a conversation. Even if it's that you don't go to a church service. No, it's not about you, it's not about you coming to a service. Our issue is we're trying to change our community. And we're changing our community because I was a byproduct of our community. I was a gang member, but I've been changed. Now that I've been changed, I'm standing up for what changed me. I'm reaching out to people. But what I would say to those people is that have a conversation. If you can't judge a person by if a person wears drip, that's not who they are. This world, what I've realized about the message as well is that, you know, if I came across and I came and I said, I was wearing sandals and a robe and I said, hey, Jesus is coming to save you guys. If I said, Jesus is coming to save you guys.
And guess what? If he was wearing what you're wearing,
they'll say
they'll be bashing me. They'll be bashing me.
They'll say you've lost it.
They'll say, this guy's mad.
Mental health.
So guess what? The critics, you see when you're in the ring, the job of critics is always to talk. You know, sometimes, I'm even a victim of it. I think I've even said, Ronaldo, this guy didn't shoot the ball. Like, he didn't score. Yeah. But who am I talking to? He can't even hear what I'm saying. I don't even matter. I'm just a critic. Yeah. When you're in the ring, you're always going to have critics, and that's what we understand. Someone's going to judge a person for their clothes or this, but when the moment that you make judgment on a person is when you encounter that person, and you will know if that person is genuine or not. But how can you truly be a human being and make a decision based on someone else's opinion or comments, and you haven't experienced for yourself?
Yes. Brad, what would you say to that?
It's kind of similar, to be fair, bro. I think The question was that what would you say to somebody who thinks they've seen the flashy clothes and stuff like that?
Yeah.
First and foremost, I would normally be wearing what I wear anyway. Even if I wasn't in church.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm just being myself.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
Yeah.
Every day, some days I might be in a suit. Some days you might see me in whatever, in a night tracksuit or what. I'm just genuinely actually being myself. And another thing I would say is that I can't, you have to also look at people's outcomes. Remember, I've spoken to you about the height of success is people just wanting to be okay.
Yeah.
You can't then take someone's judgment or the totality of someone's thought process of somebody who just wants to be okay to compare it to another person's thought process of somebody who's genuinely trying to create world solutions and match the two. Because you may not understand or have a perspective on why this person's doing what they're doing because how you're thinking is you just want to be okay. Do you understand? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why what Esro said was, that's why I agree with it. Come and have a conversation. We're on ground.
Yeah.
We have studios in about 4 different places within London.
Yeah.
And we meet with people every single day.
Yeah.
We was in a college, City of Westminster College. I'm not sure if I can say that. Speaking to 50 young people, speaking about what we do with our studios. We are on ground.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of speaking to people. I'm not afraid to tell them where I've come from.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to let them know that life is a fight.
Yeah.
We're the
We're the same, sincerely. But what I am there to tell them is that you're a leader too.
Yeah.
And you could be Muslim, you could be Christian, you could be Buddha, you could be whatever. My thing is humanity. And awakening people to let them know that you're not what your society tells you are.
Yeah.
And just because YouTube comments or Shadeborough or I'm Just Bait is telling you a certain narrative, it doesn't mean or that doesn't affect what's on the inside of you. I think many times we live our life from the outside in instead of the inside out.
Yeah.
Our eyes have seen so much.
Yeah.
And just because this rapper's doing something, we now have to do that.
Yeah.
It's a social construct.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between joy and happiness. Happiness is a temporary emotion. Joy is the thing that nobody has to pay you to do. I could sit here and talk for, you do know you can see I'm a talker. I could talk for 20 days straight and it's joy. You don't have to pay. I don't even have to eat. That's joy for me.
Don't do that though. Yeah.
I won't do that. Glo Fitness for you or Glotalks for you is joy.
Yeah.
That's your place of that's you living from the inside out. You're probably sitting in jail thinking to yourself, or training and closing your eyes to the world and living from here.
Yeah.
I'm living from here. I'm not living from what I see.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
100.
So it's like, I'm talking to people that are living from there outside in, but I'm living from in to out. So you won't understand me. Because my eyes are seeing something what's here.
Yeah.
Not what's, I haven't got time to even worry about what you're saying to me.
Yo, listen, I spent my childhood on a corner, I wanted to be a baller. Where I'm from, you put them balls in a box like a corner. We went gang school, it was trapper kick ball. Man, it's crazy how I saw my old...
But eventually you will.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually doing this for you.
Yeah.
I actually want to address certain world solutions. Why do you think why do you think we're setting up like I said, I touched on it. We set up the 4 different studios to go to the studio. That's why we've made our prices so low.
Yeah.
People aren't doing free studio sessions on a Saturday. People aren't doing music leadership classes so that they don't get done over in their contracts like what we are doing for free.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing that. No one's looking and trying to find out how you provide free trading courses, because I've done trading for about 7 years of my life. Free trading courses to the wider community. This is what we're doing. That's what my focus is on. And I don't have any time for anybody. I don't care if you don't like my LV trainer.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But you have an LV trainer.
Yeah.
Come on,
I think what the misconception that most people have is probably because they're not involved in it. Yeah. They're not in the in-house. They're not in the inner circle. Do you know what I'm saying? So you look like me, I look like you, same vice versa. So for the people on the outside that come from where we come from and they look like us, but they don't dress like us, or they're not as flashy as us, or this and that. So it may be the misconception that Spag Nation is a cult, is corrosive, whatever the word is. But I think what I'm hearing from yourself and from yourself, Rose, is that you are a community to support others and bring people in to better themselves. Would I be correct?
Well, you'll be correct. And you know what it is? It's like, this is happening every single day. The Asian community, they house themselves. They build. We do that in our community as well, but we will get scrutinized for doing those things as well. Remember, majority, like, black people, we're people that like violate each other a lot. We're not people that have built communities or built companies or striving to be anything, but we want to be individuals. But if you look at the other communities, the Jewish community, the Asian community, the white community, they're together, they build. We're the only community that is scattered.
I agree with that.
And that's what we're fighting for. We're saying that I look at the music industry a lot, and that's what we're fighting for with Limitless. And I look at the mental health that happens when the artists don't make it. I'm looking into the music industry and I'm thinking, okay, when an artist makes it, let's say, or he makes it to some sort of prominence, he despises his community instead of bringing the next person up. I won't say no names, but I haven't seen the next artist that people are trying to develop or trying to raise or trying to make them better people for the community. I haven't seen those things.
It's all for themselves.
It's all for themselves. Like, for example, like drill. Someone's going to go and do drill, but they're eventually going to have to go and live it out. What we're saying is that, no, you don't have to live that type of life. There's an alternative here. We are saying that, you know what? We've lived that life. I know what it means to drill, to really do a drill. But we're the alternative. And it's like, you don't know that we need each other. The next chapter of your life is introduced by a person. So we're going to be going back and forth on Shadeborough comments. But the truth is that the community that you despise to build, your kids will be victims of one day. So for example, my parents, let's say for example, and I'll speak for my parents, they despise building a community or building people or building a family or trying to do something in the society. I became, without being involved in gangs, I became a victim of knife crime. So it's right for me to say that the community that you despise, like, or you fail to build, your kids or whoever could be victims of later. We're bringing people to that awareness now. There's people that have had children, the kids that are having kids. People are being born for my leadership in a few years. That's what I know. People are being born. Like, for example, you didn't know everything that we done in our lives was leading up until this moment. You went to prison, but you didn't know that today you was going to meet Bread. You was going to meet myself. Everything is preparing you for something. What I would say to like our community is that we need to have conversation. What Spag Nation is, we want to have a conversation. You might be right. I might be wrong. But at the end of the day, is our community prospering? No. So even if you're right and I'm wrong, the situation is still at hand.
People are still losing.
We don't want 14-year-olds dying. We don't want kids having kids. Us as leaders, we can stop those things. So like, for example, people wait till the latter parts of their age to stop gang beef. I'm saying, no, I want to stop it now. I can stop it now because guess what? We've seen it. People stop the beef at the latter part of their story, but guess what? Lives have been sacrificed.
So again, like I said, I'm not saying that there's not been mistakes. I'm not saying that. I'm not actually saying that. But what I am saying is that there's two different outcomes here. The outcomes are what you're doing, you're leading. Glotalks, you're leading, you're providing a platform for other people to speak and express their things. But don't throw stones at somebody else trying to build their community or trying to impact it in a certain way. Let's talk. Let's talk. We may be doing something differently. Let's talk. Let's see how you can input. But don't not be a leader and want an okay life. and throw stones at somebody leading.
Yeah.
But that's always going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
I agree with both of you on what you lot are saying, because our community does have a big problem with coming together. You mentioned earlier how other religions come together, they put money in a pot.
They think.
Someone buys a house, and then once they buy a house, we regroup again, put money together. Now the next person's got a house, and in 10, 15, 20 years time, there's going to be a family that we've built with houses, with things to fall back on. So I definitely understand what you guys are saying. In terms of, obviously, Esro, you mentioned music earlier, Limitless is the record label. In terms of music, obviously you're both very talented rappers. Brad, I think you wore the balaclava in Trap Mash.
I wasn't even in the actual video.
Oh, you wasn't in that one?
I was in Hope Dealers.
I put the balaclava on in for Hope Dealers. Yeah.
So you put the balaclava on for Hope Dealers. Yeah. The message you display through your music is obviously religious, but others might look at that and say, "Why are you holding the Bible like in a way like is portraying to be a firearm?" Or someone will say, "Why are you guys throwing out gang signs or hanging out of vehicles or displaying a gangster rap music video, except for that the lyrics are different?" What would you say to that kind of music, and how can that kind of music help people who's not in Spag Nation understand Spag Nation? If you understand the question.
At that period of our life and time, you're just getting the raw, uncut truth and scenes of what was actually going on.
Yeah.
That was probably, Trap Mash was probably like 6 or 7 months into him transitioning into becoming what he is today.
Okay.
So, and yeah, you can call it a marketing plan, but the actual truth of the matter is, it wasn't even, we didn't try to, it wasn't a strategy for us to say, no, we're going to do this, then we're going to do this. We were genuinely having fun and being ourselves.
Yeah.
The whole reason I even put the balaclava on, I even said it in the freestyle. I said, well, my investors couldn't see me doing drill, didn't think they'll ever trust a nigga rapping, do a deal. So it's like, at the time I was 21. Yeah. I'd been trading Forex for the past year or so. So since I joined when I was 20, I'd been trading for a year. It was towards the latter end of me being 21, so I was turning 22, but I was 21. Yeah. By that time, I had an office in Mayfair I was paying £7,000 a month for. And I was applied to some unis that I was going to go to, some top ones. Yeah. And I put the balaclava on, not to make a song, but there was like a Christmas party at the time, and like I was listening to, I think it was K-Trap, Paper Plans at the time, and I thought it was hard, but I was like, you know what, let me put like a Christian spin on it, like a gospel spin on it, just for Bants, for Bants at this Christmas party. So I told all of my friends at the time, put on the balaclava, we're all gonna do it. Yeah. They got to like the Christmas party, it's like a church Christmas party. They got to the church Christmas party there, and they all had the balaclava, but I think they was shook to put the balaclava on. But me, you can tell that I'm a bit, do you know what I mean? A bit animated. So I was like, nah, guys, I'm doing it. So I put the balaclava on, did like an 8 bar. I go sleep. I wake up. I'm on Shade Bar with 3 million views. I'm just bait. I'm on Made You Think, millions of views. So I looked at it and I thought, let me do this again. So I done it again for Bants. But then I realized I can actually use this as a tool or as a point of controversy for me to get this conversation where we can talk sincerely about what I do and how I've managed to change and turn my life around, how we've gone from Croydon to Mayfair. And there's a video on there and stuff like that. So
it was a great marketing.
It was great marketing, but we stumbled on it. It wasn't something that we fought out and it was just fun.
Even like the song Trap Mash as well, and that proceeded after he put the belly on.
That was a very big song at the time as well.
That was in FIFA.
That was in FIFA as well. So
oh, they featured on FIFA.
How we actually done that or constructed that song was that I was telling the gentleman at the time to change his lyrics. Okay, you come from the Rose, but no, change this bar, say this instead of this. And I knew what I was doing. I was almost like spreading the message, but someone from a low social economic background will take it as I'm talking about gang. But if you're wise and you have a level of wisdom, you will understand that I'm talking about the work that we're currently doing. So when we say drilling, or if I'm holding like a Bible, like a WAP, let's say for example, it was to appeal to the kind of people that I was trying to reach. I was trying to change people that come from the street. I have a passion for people that are in the street because I'm from the streets. I call myself the voice of the street. I have a passion for people. So I was trying to reach the psyche of those people. They'll be like, why is this guy doing this? And that was a question.
We're reading scriptures like, the word is a double-edged sword. And we're hearing things like that. So it's like, you know what? We're gonna use this sword. People don't know, we're gonna do it.
People don't know what a drilling is. Like, of course, on the street, when you drill or you catch a body, that's a body that gets sacrificed, the person dies, their life's wasted in purpose. When we do a drill, we impact you as a conversation. And your mind changes. That's a drill. Even when you're doing like sports, when they tell you to do a drill, why is the term drill subject to the street? No, like it's not only subject to the street, it's people that have low minds is subject that stuff to that. But I was appealing to the people that I'm trying to have a conversation with. I'm not trying to have a conversation with the whole streets. I'm trying to have a conversation with the leaders. I'm looking for 1%. Why does 1% of the world rule 99% of the world? It's because the 99% of the world are not one. I'm looking for a set of people like yourself that like you're living from the inside out. From prison or from when you was trapping, you understood the importance of people. Even from when I was on the street, I understood the importance of people. But all I had to do was change the product. And that's what I'm giving them. I am the product. So I've made the controversy. There was a controversy around us. But when people meet us, they know they can meet us for change. But guess what? If I come and say, hey, change is coming, you don't care. Our generation, like, we're greasy like that. We don't care. Even if you saw somebody on the bus or an advert of an African child on the bus and flies are flying around them, you don't really care. Until like a situation happens. That's our community. We don't really care until something happens. And you see the campaigns like Black Lives Matter. Where is it now? I'm on a campaign. I've been on a campaign for 7 years, campaigning for lives to change. I am the message. And there's millions of people that have met me outside of the podcast setting. I've had many podcasts, but just not recorded. Lives have been impacted. So my method, it does work. And to the people that will say that it doesn't work, my thing will be like, okay, can you question the result of it? Or can you show me another way? I might not be the greatest. I'm coming from the streets. I'm not the greatest. But instead of you having this opinion about me, can you help me? Because I see a version of myself on the inside of me. Are you going to be somebody to aid me to that person? Or take me away. PT somebody just aided me to that person. Giving me the training to be that person. Because sometimes you can hope for something. I don't want to hope for something. I want to be trained for what I want to be. So for example, you saw like a Michael Jackson when he was growing up. His father trained him. They call him the king of pop. His father trained him to be a world-class musician. People think you could just arrive. People think you could wake up and be Ronaldo. You can't. The guy he's taken training to another state. And that's what I would call high-performance leadership. That's what I feel like our community need. That high-performance leadership. Something that's intense. You know how intense the street is. If you ain't got money, you know the intensity that you need to speak at in order for your line to ring. Every street person is about high performance leadership. You know what it means to be broke. Graft your line to a place where you're making about 20K a week or a month. That's high performance leadership. But can we change the substance of what we're trying to sell here? Our prosperity and our wealth is in change. These record labels companies, and I know I'm going in and out of topic, but allow me to flow.
Sure.
These record labels, what they do is that they prosper off the beef that's going on in the ends. But if you and I decided that, okay, you know what, we can prevent this. What are all these guys after? Money. But they're profiting off our community going against each other. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, we need to be thinking, okay, that industry can't benefit me no more because it doesn't stand for what I stand for. As Limitless, what we're doing is creating our own. And we don't mind if our whole life existence is to build that for the next generation. You're not a human being if whatever you build doesn't live past you. Meaning that when you die, Glotalks doesn't live past you, or whatever you build doesn't live past you. The reason how I know that Steve Jobs is a significant leader, world leader, let's say, even though dead, he's still alive. Why? We need his product. His product is not going extinct. His product is still being produced. So I just know that as a high as a high performance leader, there's an intensity that I need.
Yeah.
So from the street, and I'll just wrap up like this, like from the street, when I was grafting my line, or riding out, there was an intensity that I needed to be or have, or you'll be a victim. So I knew it that, okay, if I don't carry a knife or trap, I'm either going to get stabbed or I'm not going to have money. So there's an intensity I need to have. It's the same thing with the nation. The training. I don't know if you understand, like, where the training that we have here is world-class leadership. We are getting better and better. You think that someone can just arrive and be Donald Trump? No, you can't just be Donald Trump. You can't just wake up and try to be Floyd Mayweather. He's trained.
Obviously, there's so many churches out there. You know, there's Pentecostals, there's Church of England, but they stay as churches. You go there, you put your offerings, you do your donations, you walk out, you go back there again next Sunday or whatever day you go to church, right? Spag Nation, what I'm getting from you guys, is more than just a church service. It's a church service, yes, but it also offers external services to be able to support communities in what they need help in. For example, you don't have a job, you can help guys find work, you can help guys find studio sessions, and you can even for exposure in itself. You can even essentially put clothes on someone's back, essentially. So I feel like what that stands for is a good thing. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like bringing people together. I, in my lifetime, haven't seen a service that is as loud but caring at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I have spent a lot of time in Joe and whatnot. But from meeting you in prison to then seeing how dedicated you are in Spag Nation, I know you're from the roads. Do you know what I'm saying? I've sat on the wing with you and spoke about road stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? And now you're sitting in front of me in a suit, this and that. So I
didn't plan the suit, by the way, guys.
I'm wearing bright green. I'm wearing bright green, and you guys are like. But I guess Spag Nation is for those who want change to develop themselves to being a better human being.
Spag Nation is for those that are angry enough to want to change. You know, like to change it, there's an intensity that you need to change your situation. When you was broke, you know how angry you got. Even though it was cold outside, it was almost like it was hot because the level of intensity you're moving at to make what you need to make happen. Until you're angry enough, nothing changes. Spac Nation is the gathering of people that are angry enough to make change.
I was going to say as well, like, for many people, people could be like, oh yeah, but a church is just meant to be a church. But the truth of the matter is, if you could go back 2,000 years, there were no churches when Christ was here. He was just doing the work, providing solution for the problem that was evident at his time. What's the problem right now? The problem right now, number one biggest problem of our demographic, where we live, lack of vision. The bar's set too low. Number two, no employment. People ain't even, not even the lack of employment. That's even like a lower level. People aren't being employers to even provide employment. So we're addressing the modern day issue. If you look at places like Cambridge University and Oxford University, they actually started off as churches. They started off, they actually started off as churches.
Do your research, guys.
Do your research. This is, I go to uni, guys. They actually started off as churches. They evolved to suit to solve the issue and the problem, the current problem of that time, that there wasn't any education for a certain set of people at that time, and it developed. That place now has seen more world leaders come out of that place. but it's still founded on the essence of Christ. I believe in Christ wholeheartedly. If I believe in Christ, it means I believe in humanity.
Yeah.
I believe in the potential of what they can be according to what God's put over their life.
Yeah.
That's just our way of expressing it. I think people don't necessarily understand our methods, but you can't question the results.
Yeah.
This man was on the wing with you.
Yeah.
It's not been.
He's talking differently.
It's not been done before.
Yeah.
And that's why I really I like platforms like this. It gives you a chance to express yourself. And majority of people, they come from the roads, but they're not exposed to intellectual conversation or building a business from ground up. Most startup companies, they fail in the first year. People don't know what it means to deal with people. And the reason why I'm an advocate for change, especially for people that are like come from the street, not looking for everybody, but those that like have led themselves to a place of like making money, or those that have led themselves to even making money. Because you have to be angry enough to do that.
You have to be hungry enough.
You have to, that's what I'm saying. The hunger to go again. So what I was saying to myself this week is that, you see that what stops some people from being extremely wealthy is that their ability to not take risk.
Yeah.
So you know, like, say for example, you made 100 million right now. You know that like, you wouldn't want to risk £1 million to go again. To get 200, you just be like, let me just stop here. This is cool.
But the truth of the matter,
I know a man.
Even like an Elon Musk, for example, he sold PayPal for 180 million, For some, that would have been, hey, call it quits,
guys,
we're done.
Buzzing tape.
I'm telling you, he put 170 something back in, or like, apparently they say that he put everything back in and he started renting. He started staying in a 1-bedroom apartment or 2-bed apartment, paying 2K every single month. But now he's worth 400 billion. That's what I'm saying. So
you think for Elon Musk, it's about the money. It's not about the money. It's about what he can create.
It's about what he's seeing on the inside.
So there's a difference between creators and those that are part of what's created. I'm looking for creators. You was made in the image of God, meaning that you're meant to be a creator. Glotalks. Naturally, you're gonna create. When your back's against the wall, there's a God gene that will come out. It's like, you start getting creative. Like, it's like if there's no food in your house, you will go into the cupboard and you will pick things together and get creative, and you will make yourself a meal. When your back's against the wall, is when impossible's nothing.
I've made some mad
and that's the best place for you to be. See, comfortability is the greatest enemy you can ever have.
What's to stop someone coming into Spag Nation, taking your trades that you teach them and saying thank you, goodbye?
That's what it's about.
Bro, that's happened many times. People have left and it's fine. It's not about you. It's not about the person. It's about my character. I'm training. As in like, I'm training. I'm training to give. I'm training to give, to get myself in a mindset of I can bet everything. I'll get it back. My ability, my speed of how quickly I can recreate. That's my training. You can either take what I've given you and go away, or you can get something greater, which is this system of recreation.
So
I can my ability to recreate
and
go again. Do you know how many losses we've lost? We've lost hundreds of thousands, bro.
No, millions
if not. Me personally, millions. I've lost risking it. And I wouldn't have been able to if somebody didn't take from me and leave. If somebody didn't wear clothes I bought for them and leave. You know what,
It's even a blessing for somebody to take from you.
It's the hurt. No, it's actually the hurt and the pain that's meant to develop you as a person. Without hurt and pain, without a betrayal of a friend or betrayal of some, we've sent people to school and they've just left us. We've paid like tens of K to people to go to school and they've left, but it's fine. The hurt of them doing that to us and us stomaching it for a while, thinking, I thought they was journeying with us. That's refining me, helping me to know how to do things better. how to go again.
Yeah.
It's about you.
You know what kills people? Some people, when they're young, people take risks. They're energetic. They have life in them.
Yeah.
If we look at our parents, they were probably trying to be something at our ages.
Yeah.
But they got to a stage where they couldn't go again.
And
they couldn't take another risk because so much they were thinking of their age, so much was on the line. But it's about, can you still be a child?
Yeah.
Can Glotalks still be a child and go again? Because when you're a child, you don't know that if you put your hand in fire, it's gonna burn. You don't. If you trip, if you graze your knee, you're gonna get up and start running again. Can you be like that within your mentality to just keep going again? And if you can, you'll fulfill everything you're meant to fulfill. You'll feel fulfilled.
Yeah. Do you know, just to add to that, like people are scared to fail.
Yeah.
But they don't understand that failure is just feedback.
Yeah.
Like failure is just feedback. So people will criticize your failures, but you don't understand that on those failures, every like criticism that I may face or anybody faces as a leader, it makes them better.
Yeah.
Because they're getting feedback. So you see, when you're the one that's moving, expect some sort of critics.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything, there's no reason for anybody to critique your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they said that it took, believe Thomas Edison, 1,000 tries to get the electricity, the light bulb.
Yeah.
If he stopped at 900 and because he was failing, then he wouldn't have had the feedback to know, all right, don't do this, do that, we wouldn't have got this light that's lighting up the room.
1,000 times means? That's like this. So people,
that's money. That's time.
Yeah.
That's a man's life.
But I don't blame our community for the way it thinks. I'm trying to say to them, it's almost like I'm screaming out to them. The reason why I keep going back to them is because I'm letting them know that, hey, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And what you're saying may be right. But guess what? We need to build. Like, we need to come together and think of what we can do, because guess what? I'm as doomed as you. But the only thing that makes me different is that I've got a level of training to prepare me for the situation that I'm going to face. I've seen a man that's come out of prison raise over £1 million, and place value back on our community. I haven't seen that from these rappers. You see, like, you see the value on their chain. Nothing wrong with the chain. But guess what? The value that we need to put back into our community is not on another church building or not on another salon. It's in the people. I don't believe in businesses. I believe in people. I don't believe in Glotalks. I believe in you. If you work, this will work. Do you know what I mean? So that's the mindset that I have. And I always say this, that your capacity to love can't be tested without a situation for you to hate. So you see, where you're going to prove your love is in a situation that you hate. Someone's going to say something nasty to you. Someone's going to help you. You're going to put clothing on someone's back. You're going to feed them. You're going to do all these things. And they're still going to betray you. But guess what? It's not about them. It's about you. Can you go again despite the limitations you face? So I'm looking at my limitations now as a high performance leader or an athlete, which I'll call myself, in this ring called leadership. I would just say that my obstacles are just hurdles. It's just, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I got a problem, I just know that it's something I need to jump over. It's not something that I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to do here? I've been trained to know how to jump over this. But our community, they get upset with, okay, if their boyfriend is leaving them, they're just going to cry. Or a girl's going to cry because their boyfriend, but they don't know that they're probably even meant to employ that guy. Do you understand? They're probably even meant to rise. The vision has been set so low that they don't even know they're meant to employ this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people in your life now, or that you know, and you're looking back and thinking, did I really have a conversation with you? What was the purpose for? There's some people you give 3 minutes to, some people you give 3 hours to, or 30 minutes to. It's just a different value system for different people. And I've noticed that, like, see, for the community, you need to have constant conversation because everything is talking to them. Instagram is talking to them. It's telling a young girl that she needs to receive flowers on Valentine's Day. That's a social construct. You met it here. Do you know what I mean? The social constructs that I met here, rappers. How did I know that I wanted to be a rapper? I saw somebody rapping. How do I know that's the real me? So what we're doing is that looking for young leaders in our community and making them trace back to who they originally are, because I was never a gang member.
Yeah.
But the fact that I was formed in a community where there's gang members, that's what made me a gang member. I was a victim of my society. We wasn't trappers. We wasn't this.
Yeah.
But when we got given to the society, that social construct made us.
Yes.
And we were victims of those social constructs. We went to prison.
Yeah.
Trapped. We done all those things.
Yeah.
But now we're saying that we're on a journey to greatness. Glotalks is just like, it's you fighting to like,
that's the real you.
It's the real you.
This is the real you.
Yeah.
The creative
That other
place.
stuff, even why you went to jail.
Yeah.
It's a shadow.
That's just a shadow of. That's just so you could.
It was just
it's actually why you. It's just.
It's why I went in jail. This is why I went in jail.
This is why you went jail, bro. Because the thing is, you wouldn't have him on this podcast.
Yeah.
Or all the people that you have on the podcast, bro. It's a shadow of what was. This is actually you. But the thing is, if you're doing this, everything's gonna test. Whether you're serious about becoming you or not.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Your bank account's gonna say, do you want to do this? This place might even lock up one day. Like, there's just bare things, bro. Like bare life external factors.
Uncle's looking at you like, God forbid, bro.
There's like external factors, bro.
Yeah.
That's gonna test whether you really want to be you or do you want to accept the social construct.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been tested, and like, you know, it's not easy for like a gang member to be like, you're tested with like gang members. Like, I've had so many reasons for me to go back like along this journey. So like, someone should know that when you want to go forward, just know that like everything is going to come to take you back.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't know that. I just didn't know that like, okay, this is a distraction. Let me move, like how to maneuver or go over these obstacles, because no one taught us how to do that. You know, like, that's what we're bringing people to the awareness of. And even if I talk to someone today and they disappear tomorrow, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It's not about them. From my job, a farmer's job is just to sow the seed. As long as I'm sowing the seed, I'm changing. I'm getting better. I'm going to meet world-class. I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. I'm going to be a multi-billionaire. I know that because of my training. I know that some people, they stop their careers. For most roadmen, they stop their careers at an age of like 45, or you've got to be some sort of guy. But I know that I'm trying to interface with some different people across the world. I'm not just trying to keep myself as a gang member. And that's what I'm telling the people on the street. You guys have the best qualities, but you're in the wrong space. The streets won't put the correct value on you. But I know, I found a place. That's what I'm saying. I found a place. And if anybody else has too, take me with you. Let's do this. I'm saying, you know, it's like, for me, I'm just like, okay, can we? It's like, for example, I built a line when I was on the street. I understand the importance of people. Without people, there's no finances. You can't run a successful business. So I know that most guys that come from the street, they will be the greatest entrepreneurs ever. It's just about changing the.
You're just giving them the different tools.
Giving them the different tools and teaching them. Like, I'm really an advocate for this. That the training, nobody trained us for nothing. Like, even though, like, I'm just thinking about it now. Like,
they trained us.
What did my parents train me to do?
To work for someone else.
In school, trained me to work. Get a 9. It trained me to just be a consumer. Nobody trains you how to be a creator. The original version of yourself that you are. Everybody's got the ability to create, but it's about. Some people have just met so much constructs, social constructs, that they're looking at their limitations too much instead of looking on the inside.
I'm posing this question to both of you. In what way does like music, drill music, have any relationship to religion or Spag Nation? Because you're both still doing music, and obviously we know what kind of influence music has on the mind. So what connection would you say? Why is music a big part of your relationship with Spag Nation?
Music's not a big part of my relationship with Spag Nation. I've been doing music before I came to Spag Nation. But I know that you use music to spread a message. When I came in, I met the Hope Dealers, they put their belly on. And I was also intrigued the fact that coming from the street, looking at someone putting a belly on in church is not what you would see usually.
Usually, yeah.
But I use that as an example. I didn't understand it from the outside looking in, but I had to ask a question. And me asking that question, it gave me insight to a level of understanding which I'm here now. The music that we make, it is not just subject to religion at all. It's to appeal to humanity. If there are young people that are doing drill, we will have to wear the clothing called drill to appeal to those that are in drill. Yeah. If somebody's into sports, you're gonna have to have some understanding about sports. Yeah. If someone's like whatever field it is, you're gonna have to have some level of understanding in that field, and you're gonna have to wear that garment in order to connect with the people effectively. Yeah. Otherwise, there's going to be a disconnect. And what we've seen with most churches is the reason why people leave churches and stuff like that, and it happens all the time, is that there's a disconnect. Yeah. I don't. Between the there's a great disconnect between the preacher and the people there. Yes, yeah. He's not relatable. Yeah. We think that this guy's perfect. He's not. But when PT started telling me his story, I said, no, I relate with this guy. So it's just about you being relatable. I make relatable music. Okay. To relate with the current times now. I can't make a song and say, hi, change your life.
You love that one.
It doesn't, it's not, even for me.
Who said to cut you off? Who thought of the name Hope Dealers?
Some people that don't exist no more. and I'll say it boldly as well, and they're gonna watch this interview as well, and they didn't make it as well. Yeah. But they don't exist no more because they're not standing for what they even made.
What they created.
So basically, Hope Dealers, it was created in like 2013 or something like that. But I joined in 2017. Yeah. Or 2017. And that's when I put the balaclava on, because I just thought just needed a bit of spice. But the truth of the matter is, Rose is right. They're not here no more because they're not even standing for what they wanted to do. They just wanted to be okay. They're not standing for what they even started. So that's how Hope Dealers, I would say Hope Dealers actually really started in 2017 when I put the balaclava on. Yeah.
And it's funny to say because what they created actually gave me hope. They didn't know that one day they'll create something like this, and you putting on that belly that day gave me hope. But now I'm standing for this thing and I'm not moving for this thing. Yeah. I'm so like passionate about guys that come from the street. You know why? I know the struggle that like we have, and I know the level of fight. And
I think as well, like it just speaks about like who you were as a person before.
You don't believe things.
I don't have to have known Rose when he was on the street to know he was 100%er. Yeah. I can tell by how he lives his life now. Yeah. You ain't got to a lot of people say they played football. Yeah. But you can tell I played it to a high level.
Yeah, it's like that.
Because I've always been 100%er. Ask anybody from anywhere. Everything I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be that person that's in the gym training. I'll wake up at 4 a.m. I woke up at 4 a.m. for like 3 years straight. Yeah. Going to the gym, training, doing extras, I'm 100%er. So what people are just seeing is if I'm doing something, if we're doing something, we're gonna go all out. We're all in. Yeah,
that's
the chips are there.
Do any of you boys have kids at all?
Yeah, I have a child, yeah.
You have a child? Yeah. Do you have a boy or girl?
Boy.
How old is he?
He is, that's funny, it's about 6.
And obviously you've taken him out of that environment, I'm guessing. What would you say to him if he grew up listening to...
what would I say to him if he grew up listening to that music?
That type of music, what would you say?
I think I'll answer for him.
Yeah.
I would say, whether it's... he would have to present a life for him to choose. We chose a life because there was no one presenting any other life to us. Yeah. Yeah. So he would have to present a way of living his life for his son to choose. Because ultimately, once he reaches 18, just like all of us, he's going to decide who he wants to be. And luckily for now, he looks up to his dad. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, Rose would have to live a certain way in order to even subconsciously be a role model to his son.
Yeah.
Let alone subconsciously.
What do you guys do now? I mean, Spag Nation, Limitless, the record label, is something that you do. Spag Nation is a community that is built itself, if you like, or you guys have put in to build what it is now. But what else do you guys do aside from that?
So go on, bro.
Yeah, so see for me, like people think Spac Nation is just a church. It's not. It's a mindset. And I take that mindset in anything I do, even if that's in music, even if it's just me waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a high performance ideology that you get up in the morning and you get what you need to get done. That's what Spac Nation is. What I do outside of that is I could do like speaking to people, or I can go to the studio. Whatever I do, my whole life, and let me just say like this, my whole life is banked on changing people's lives. So
basically what you're saying is everything you're doing is always goes towards the same goal.
Yeah, it's the same goal, changing people's lives. I don't even care if they come to Spac Nation or not. My thing is that I'm an advocate for change. And I want people to change. I don't even care if a person's not been to jail or not been to jail. How do we prevent them from not going to jail? There's a 16-year-old boy in the room right now. We want him to be prosperous in photography. For me, as long as I can help a person do that, even if they walked away 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks,
you've tried.
It doesn't matter.
You've done your part.
I am getting better. I'm not going to stop. You know what I mean?
What about you, Brad? What would you say to that?
I just do Limitless.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be real with you. I currently study in university. I study international relations.
Okay.
At Russell Group Uni.
Yeah.
And with an economics module as well. But I'm also, like I said, I own different studios dotted around London, working with various different artists from your Nines, Davido, Zlatan. We've worked with every single probably UK artist to some capacity, up and down the country, working on their contracts, sitting down, negotiating deals with them up to 7 figures, 8 figures. We've done quite a bit. And accommodated quite a lot of people through our studios as well. So I'm just constantly engaging. We just set up like a new initiative called New Gen Limitless, where we're going into the grassroots of our communities that we've come from and trying to find those young people, and not even necessarily for talent, really and truly. We're trying to find leaders. Trying to find leaders who may feel like they want to do music, but they don't know that they just are doing what they want to do. But exposing them to more, giving them opportunities of how to even make money legitimately through the various endeavors in which we've done, and providing a platform. Just like today, like I said, there was a young man called Christian who runs, he reached out and he runs a music tech company called Musiccom. And he actually wanted which works on like artists connecting with each other from around the world. And he asked for an investment of £20,000. Brought him to the event that we put on today through the Nation family, Spac Nation. And he was exposed to many different various investors. That's what I do. I connect people with people. I have a large inventory. I know the inventory of the people around me. So I know where resources can work together. If I would say, all right, Glo, I actually need you to meet this person because you and you together would actually, first and foremost, you make money, but you cause impact. I'm the connector of people. Really and truly.
If both of you could leave this podcast with one message to the viewers, what would you say? I'll start with you, Esro.
If I could leave this podcast with one message to the viewers, I think that would be to have conversations, ask questions, ask a lot of questions, and don't just leave those questions on the comments of a post on social media. Really message and want to find out what is wrong. If you really care about our community, find out what you can do to make things better. So, for example, you will say what you can do to make things better, what you can do to make things better, and also ask questions before you come to a decision.
And Bird, what would you say?
What I would say if I was to leave one comment for the viewers on Glo Talks today is stay young and take risks. Because the moment you start growing old, you'll die of your fear. The fear that you entertain today will make you a non-entity tomorrow. That's all I'll say.
That's a very good message. And I want to thank both of you for coming onto my podcast today.
Thank you.
I've heard your story, Brad. I didn't really know you that well before, but I've sat here today and really taken in your story and your journey from growing up in Brixton to moving to Croydon, playing football and injuring yourself to now being an inspiration really in your community with what you're doing and how you're using yourself as a tool to support young people with like your own connections, which is very good. Do you know what I'm saying? And for yourself, Esro, I mean, we was in prison together. And the thing is, in prison, we've never actually had a conversation about religion or anything like that. We was just talking about jail shit.
It wasn't like this at all.
It wasn't like this at all. We're just talking about road shit, jail shit. Do you know what I'm saying? And now to see here today, you've definitely got your mind screwed on and you sound like all you want for people out there is to be the best version of themselves. And I feel like what you said here today on my podcast is going to help a lot of viewers understand what Spag Nation actually is or what you call the family is, and in that itself is a powerful message, you know what I'm saying? And it's down to the viewers at the end of the day to depict out of it and you know, make out what they want from it, whatever. But I'm sitting here with you guys and I genuinely feel like what you stand for is wholeheartedly genuine. I want to say thank you for coming on today and giving my platform and the viewers an opportunity to actually take in a part of what you guys do. Because I know it's not everything, because we don't have the time to sit here and say everything what you guys do. But you're definitely giving me a huge chunk of what you guys do, and I appreciate you guys for that.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Viewers, peace.
Love.
Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we've heard a wonderful message from two guys. Not only have they changed their life, but also looking to change the lives of others. Please like, comment and subscribe. Any questions you guys have, just leave it below. I'm sure the boys will answer. Thank you guys. Train the body, train the mind.
I feel like I could raise 100 mil, 200 mil. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. What we saying though? Yeah, presidential aura, I got nations counting on me. Never sowed a seed that I reaped that didn't cost me. Walk with me, watch me, spend a day in a life. Last night we gave millions, I'm invested in time. Raise your class to the sky, me and Vision got a rendezvous. Look what I've done for you, look what life's coming to. So for the pain I enjoy every celebration. Come dying to live through generations, patiently waiting for our time to come. Look what I've become, 11-11's when life begun. In a sacrifice, life lived more than one. Now the nations call me road, the streets call me scums. What's on your mind is what they often ask. Maybe listen to this beat and you will hear my heart. Do you know how bad I wanna right my wrongs? But even if I'm sorry, I can't be until this mission's done. Look what it done to us. I used to reach for the stars, now they're closer up. Sign me above. They think I made it off-white, cause everything looks Gucci. So in case you forgot, salute me or shoot me. My whole life's a movie, and I ain't been to your grave cause you're living through me. You